All right, guys. I wanted to talk to you guys about why I don't recommend that you buy parts from Greg Built Racing, aka Josh Robbins. And most of my issues are about Josh himself as kind of a person and a business owner and how he treats people, and not as much about the products. I mean, the mounts are pretty simple. The PTU stuff was documented, I think, developed with AWD. There's some other companies out there that do it. I'll talk about that towards the end of this video. But I just want to kind of talk about a couple things. So in Josh's videos, he has said several times that I'm not an engineer, which is pretty clear when you watch his videos, because you see that he's always kind of rushing and stumbling and dropping stuff and doesn't use the right tools necessarily in some situations. He's always just kind of rushing to get things done. And it comes across like a hammer mechanic, somebody who just slaps shit together and hopes for the best. So I don't feel that he has a strong understanding of the hows and whys, the products that he sells, does or does not do what you would expect. And then I'm going to give you an example of that, because I've had a couple of experiences that really kind of highlight his bad attitude, his unprofessionalism, and just kind of the negative way that he treats people. But first, to kind of talk about his attitude and some of the issues that he has with his personality. So I don't know if everybody knows this or not. Some people do, some people don't. He used to have another YouTube channel called Pirate Garage. That channel had 13,000 subscribers. They had tutorials and testing videos, and really did a lot of pretty decent stuff. With the EM2 EP3 RSX chassis. Was a good resource for people wanting to go all-wheel drive when there wasn't a whole lot of information out there. Well, he had a falling out with the guy he ran the channel with, and according to Josh, it's because the other guy had a bad work ethic, and I believe it's just because Josh has a shit attitude and treats people like crap, was constantly bossing them around and almost kind of like picking on or belittling them in videos. So as a result of that, Josh has had to start his own YouTube channel, which now only has 1,000 subscribers and a couple of videos, because he can't, I guess, have the work ethic to do it. I don't know. But for my personal experiences, I did purchase the power transfer unit or PTU kit for my EP3 when I was running my stock diff, that 07 to 11 rear differential. From day one, I've had issues with that thing. When I would be backing out of my driveway into the street or turning into parking spots and like a tight turn in a parking lot, whatnot, with the car binding. And you could feel the front and rear tires would be fighting themselves. If there was a little bit of sand on the ground in the parking lot, you'd hear the rear tires skipping across, almost like it'd be a welded differential on like a rear wheel drive car or something. So I couldn't really find a solution to this. Tried doing some searching. So I made a Facebook post on some of the all-wheel drive channels or groups, and asked the question, does anybody else have any experience with this? This is what's going on with my car. Josh took it upon himself to call me via Facebook Messenger to start trying to explain what was going on. And I had done a test to kind of verify that there is binding going on between the front and rear of the car. Like the clutch packs in the rear differential were not slipping the way they're supposed to at low speed, which, if anybody knows anything about binding on all-wheel drive Honda, can lead to breaking your transfer case or potentially breaking your bell housing, breaking your differential, breaking a drive shaft. It can do a lot of different damage. So after him essentially telling me I'm an idiot, I don't know what I'm talking about, and little does he know, I actually am an engineer professionally, and work on some pretty complex mechanical equipment, dealing with presses and all of that I probably have a better understanding of what's going on in this car than what he does. So he kind of wraps up that whole conversation by telling me I need to take down my post because it's looking bad. It makes his company look bad. It makes his product look bad. It makes him look bad. But at the end of the day, if it's going to potentially break people's cars, I think those conversations need to be had publicly in order to, potentially save some people some money. Now, I know that PTU kit is only like $100. It's not a ton of money, but if you go out there and you break a transfer case, you're talking $300, $350, and those things are only going up in price. If you break a bell housing, you know, not only do you have to spend the money, you've got to pull the transmission, swap all these parts over. And a lot of people who might be capable of putting a shim kit in the rear differential aren't capable of pulling a transmission and rebuilding it and swapping all of those guts over. So again, I think it was a worthy post to have, but out of respect for him and kind of his complaining and his, just to avoid the crap that comes along with dealing with him, I did remove that post. So then fast forward 6 months to just earlier this week, I pulled the transmission on my car and I've decided to sell my in-factory differential and then go back to a modified 06 SI LSD. So after reading the rules on his page, because he's an admin for one of those all-wheel drive Honda pages that had nothing about for sale posts, I checked through some posts on there, the page, and there were people that were selling stuff. So I thought everything's good to go. I could make a post. So I posted up that differential for sale, and in about 10 minutes, my post was removed. And I didn't have an explanation why. So I made another post and I tagged Josh, and I didn't post the listing again. I just made a post and tagged Josh in it and asked him, like, hey man, like, why was my post removed? And instead of responding back with anything, he blocked me from the group. Doesn't tell me why. I'm just now banned. I can't see anything on that group. Can't even find it. So I shoot him a message. I said, hey man, what's your deal? Doesn't respond, just ignores me. So I don't know what his deal is. If he was drunk, in a bad mood, who knows what. I don't know. I don't know him personally, but just the level of disrespect that he has for his customers and the members of his page, the people that are part of his community, it's unprofessional. And I'd say that that's not isolated incidents. You can go back and look at the YouTube channels on Pirate Garage and GBR, and you can see that attitude, and you can see the disrespect that he has for the people that are trying to help him. Just whether it's recording videos or holding a camera or editing or trying to put a jack into position or whatever, he just is bossy and disrespectful for those guys, and it's all out there. It's all documented. So, out of all of this, I just want to get it out there that I would recommend, if you're going to do an all-wheel drive EM2 EP3 RSX, I don't recommend you buy Gravy Built product, because if you ever have a problem, Josh will not support you. He will probably belittle you. He will make you feel like you're an idiot and that you don't know what you're doing. You shouldn't be working on cars, blah, blah, blah. So if you're going to buy mounts, instead of making a mount like what I did, I would say buy a mount kit from Hub City Performance or S1 Built. And if you're looking at like the PTU kits, maybe look into like Blacklisted Garage, because they have a really, really in-depth tutorial. They seem to give a lot more information, even to the level of like with Josh and Pirate Garage and GBR or whatever. When he'd sell that PTU kit, one of the things he says is you need to drill out an oil port to get more volume through into that diaphragm. And when people ask the question, we're like, well, how big do I need to drill that? Like, what size drill bit do I need to use? His response is bigger than stock. Like that's not an answer that somebody who I feel like who knows what they're doing would give you. They would actually say, okay, well, I recommend using a 16th or something like that. They'd at least give you a number. He refuses to do that. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I just want to get that information out there because I think there's not a whole lot of information out about the products and about what he's doing. He just lists stuff on Facebook and he lists stuff on eBay with really no support. I don't think he genuinely cares about the business. I think he looked at it, there's a small void in the market. He can slap some crap together and then have somebody actually do the prints for him, send it out, have it made, and then mark it up $400 versus the cost of material and labor, because it's just a couple of pieces of plate steel, welded, they're all tabbed, self-aligning, a couple little brackets. It's really not that hard stuff to put together. And it's just a cash grab for him. He doesn't care about the end customer. He doesn't care about their cars. He doesn't care about any of that. It's just about him making money. And yeah, I'm just tired of his shit. And anyway, yeah, more to come on this car. I said lots of stuff going on. Hopefully I'll get a video out here in the next couple of days. But see you guys.